Alright guys, Hayzink here, welcome back to the channel for another Street Fighter Duel video. And in this video, we're not going to be talking about Akuma. Not in the slightest. What we're actually going to be talking about is we're going to be talking about the Super Showdown. I've made it into the semis. And to be honest, I don't really know how it's going to go from here. But I want to show you a battle basically. But before we get to the actual battle itself, there needs to be a little bit of background. But honestly, this battle's pretty epic, right? I had a pretty solid battle straight out the bat, right? Now, if you watched the first video where I spoke about I've qualified, how far can I go? I thought this battle would be tough, right? Unfortunately, the replay has now expired, but this was a tough battle, like very, very tough. I'd say it was probably about a 2% win for me. Like, I had about 2% left on this final battle and I won. It became very, very, very close, and I want to say fortunate to make it through. So from there, I didn't really change anything. I just kind of kept things running because I knew that who I wanted to avoid, and I think I said this right from the start, was Tindalos. That was the battle I was most worried about because I knew that with regards to character strength and stuff like that, they were very on par with me. In some places they were more powerful, and in other places I was more powerful. So I knew it would be a fairly even match basically. And so yeah, we progressed on. I didn't change anything, right? I just kept going. And in round 2, which would be up here, in round 2, first fight, I knew if I won that, I was going to have to face the person that I was most worried about, Tindalos. So, yesterday I spent most of the day pondering 4D chess in my head, thinking, right, if I look at Tindalos' records, I can see that if you look here, same team, right? If we go back to the one before, find Tindalos, go to strats, same team. If we go to the one before and we look, same team. Now, I thought myself, I was like, he has not changed his team. He has not changed his team at all. But if he's anything like me, he is going to bank on me thinking he's not going to change his team. So I'm going to change my team. But then at the same time, I thought to myself, but wait, if he's not thinking that and I change my team, then am I actually screwing up my chances of trying to beat this guy or not, right? So I basically ran with, in my head, what I was thinking I was going to do was essentially throw round 1. So my plan was throw round 1, put my power into round 2 and round 3. So after I decided that I was going to throw match 1, right, the important part for me was how did I set up for match 2 and match 3, right? Now I could hit deploy and show you, but I technically can't because I've changed my setup, because I knew I was going to make this video and I'm like, right, okay, well if I'm going to make this video, I need to change how things are going to appear in game, or else if my next opponent happens to see this video, they know exactly what I'm planning for the next round. So the only way I can really show you is by going in to the replay. I'm going to show you the full replay so that you can see the battle itself, but this is how things played out. So what I had to basically decide was I going to put my Bison team in slot 2 or slot 3? For most of yesterday, I had Bison in slot 3. That was what I went with. I went with my Bison team in slot 3, and at the very, very last minute, I'd say maybe 20 minutes before the end, I got this notion in my head that if I put Bison in slot 3 and I was wrong, then we wouldn't even see the slot 3 fight. So I thought, what I will do is I'll put Bison in slot 2, because if worst case scenario happens and it's Bison versus Bison, if I've built a better Bison team, then I'll survive the fight and we'll go on to the final round. And it just so happened that was right. If I had gone with what I had originally, which is the team you see at the bottom in slot 2, and this team you see in slot 2 in the bottom, then we would never have made it to the last fight. So that little moment of thinking, hang on, should I maybe just move this up to slot 2, is literally the only reason why this fight was able to go the distance and I was able to get the win. So we're going to take a look at each of the rounds. Now, again, when coming into this, my idea in my head was round 1, I'm willing to throw it, right? However, I mean, round 1 was actually pretty close, you know? Let's have a look. So this is round 1. I'm not running it at 2 speed, because if we run it at 4 speed, you won't be able to see what's happening. Now, on this, to be honest, for a while, when I was watching this replay, I thought to myself, like, could I have won this round? And I think I could have won the round, to be honest, because, to be honest, both of these setups are decent. I just think that the fact that he's got like a more powerful jury and things like that probably meant that, I mean, his jury I think's at fighting spirit level 30, so coming straight in off the backline, she's already more powerful than my jury, because I kind of fell off jury a little bit early on and I haven't really continued to put investment into her. But this round did go a lot closer than I expected it to go. Watching it myself, I was like, okay, am I going to actually do something? But it got to around about this point where I could see how much health they had versus how much health I had, and I knew that there was no chance I could have won this fight, right? So you're going to see here that they took round 1. They absolutely took round 1. So at that point, we then move on to the second battle, and this battle on paper, I mean, while it might look as though I have the advantage, which I suppose I do, in fact, they don't even have jury in the first team. I don't know what I was talking about. I mean, I suppose I do, because I'm running a 5-star Bison. That's going to help me right away. It's not cut and dry, because jury can do a lot of damage. Like, jury can definitely do a lot of damage, you know. And I believe for an assist, he uses Sea Viper in this team, which... No, he doesn't even use Sea Viper on this team. Sea Viper's at the bottom. Previously, I saw him. He used the Sea Viper. That's why I was thinking that if he used a Sea Viper as an assist, I would have probably had an issue. So this is round 2. This was probably the closest to the fights, to be honest. And if I was watching this live, I don't even know if I would have thought I'd won or not, because the problem you've got is when you go to look at these replays, you already know the outcome, right? So I knew the final result was like me having won, but you can see when you're watching, the fight itself gets very close, right? It gets very, very close. I think my Rose dies first, possibly. I'm not 100% sure, but I do think I lose Rose. No, I don't. No, I don't, not at all. But it was a close fight, right? It might not look it right there, but it definitely was a close fight. So my Rose did die, right? And then the final battle was this one down here. Now again, if I had put this team into slot 2, I would have just lost that fight. But by putting this team into the bottom slot, this is basically how it plays out. These teams are actually fairly similar. Like, we've both got a strong DPS character, we both have a shield type character, you know, they're very, very similar builds. They're not too different at all. I think I probably had the better shield than Abel, to be totally honest, especially due to the fact that my Abel's got quite a few vehicles, and his fighting spirit is fairly well leveled. I mean, it's over level 20 anyway, so that's pretty good. But the only person I lost on that team was Cammy. In fact, did I even lose Cammy? I don't even think Cammy died, to be honest. Did Cammy die? Damage taken. No, I don't think she did. No, she didn't. She survived. So I won out, and now after that, which on paper I think is the hardest battle. I don't know. I'm not looking to count my chickens. I'm now on here, and I've changed my team setup again because, for one, I knew I was going to make this video, and two, if people look at your battles, you can try and build strategy based on what they did, right? Because you can have the best teams, but if they're in the wrong order, you're going to lose, right? I mean, if somebody looks at you and they see that you've got Bison team in slot 1 and two other teams in slot 2 and 3, and your slot 2 and 3 team isn't as strong as your slot 1, they can literally just stack slot 2 and 3. And if they stack slot 2 and 3, regardless of how high leveled your characters are, they'll probably beat them, right? But what people can't account for is people not being lazy, and I don't mean lazy is probably the wrong word, but just leaving it, going in and actually changing things about. As soon as people start changing things about, any strategy you have is kind of out the window, and you're essentially trying to second guess. So I've got 2 battles to go, 2. This one and then the final. And if that happens, I'm going to win the final showdown. When I made the first video saying, can I win the final showdown? I honestly didn't think I could, right? But now I would say that there's seriously a strong possibility, because if we look here, I've got more 5-star characters. I've got more 5-star characters. If you look here, I've got more 5-star characters, and if you look here, I've got more 5-star characters. So realistically speaking, the only way that I don't win the final showdown now is if I screw up my team building. That is it. That's the only way I can lose now, pretty much. If I screw up my team building, if they guess better than me of what I'm going to do, then I'll lose. However, if I make the right choices, I won't lose. It's as simple as that. So we'll see how it goes. But this has actually been really fun, and I want to win because it seems like one of these things that is just going to get harder over time. And if I can win now, then I've got the frame, and I'll always have the frame. So that's my aim. I'm trying to win this thing now. I went from can I win it to now I want to win it, right? So we'll see how it goes. I'll update you guys after the final result. Hopefully the next 2 battles are epic. We'll see what happens. But wish me luck or wish me absolute failure. Depends on how you feel about me, really. But anyway guys, I've been Hayzink. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one. Peace.